have your alderman, incumbent. If you don't know, 2nd District is from River Street to Victory Drive, Martin Luther King from the west all the way across the Ash to the east. We are a neighborhood, we are a district, we are a city within ourselves, and we do wonderful things. We have grown and we have given ourselves an opportunity to be the part of this city that everybody is trying to get to. So at 2nd District, we're asking you guys to learn from what we're doing, continue to grow with us, and look at how Savannah has become. Thank you. Back to what it is.
Tia Brightwell, we're doing 30 seconds.
Hello, Savannah. My name is Tia Z. Brightwell. I am a mother of 4. I am an author. I am an entrepreneur. I am a woman of faith. I love God so much. Listen, this is a job, and that's what I'm here for, an interview. I'm here to bring the people's voice to you all, the citizens, the residents, because they matter. They are unheard, they are misplaced and displaced.
Thank you. Taylor Washington.
Hello, everyone. I am Taylor Washington, born and raised in Cape Coral. I am married and have 11 beautiful children. I am the co-owner of 2 Chef Wilder-Bryan Soul Food Restaurant, or MLK. I am a former scholarship recipient of the Tourism Leadership Council here in Savannah, Georgia, where I maintain a 4.0 the whole time in the culinary program. I am a candidate because this community has done so much for me. My success is a life blessing. I have lots of gratitude to our community.
Thank you.
And I'm a candidate.
Linda Wilder-Bryan.
Let's go. I've been saying that for 3 years. I am a Savannah High graduate. I attended Savannah State, Morris Crown College, and master's from the University of Savannah, Clark. I have worked as a technical assistant with the city of Savannah, city of Atlanta, and Mayor Jackson, a partnership with EOA as a job developer and emergency assistant worker. I've had 18 years of law enforcement, post-trial.
Thank you. And would you pull the mic a little closer for the next round there, Linda Wilder-Bryan? Thank you. Tammy Stone.
Good evening, Savannah. I am Tammy Stone. I am a mother and a grandmother. I am the owner of Escape Hair Salon for the last 30 years. I am on this dais, with a seat right now, hoping to get to the dais, because I love my city of Savannah. And I want to do everything in my power to assure that the citizens of Savannah get exactly what they need.
Thank you. Clinton Cowart.
Good evening. I'm Clinton Cowart. I'm a native of Savannah. I've been here pretty much all my life. And I think it's time that we end the status quo. I'm a graduate of Georgia Southern as well as Webster. I'm an HR consultant and an actor. And I know if we put our minds to it, we can achieve anything. Thank you.
Todd Rhodes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Todd Rhodes. I was born and raised right here in Savannah, Georgia. I am a husband. I am a father of 10, all from one woman. I'm also an entrepreneur, and I have a small business. I graduated from Beach High School, the class of 2004, and I'm also a graduate from Liberty University with my bachelor's degree. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Before we begin with the district-specific questions tonight, for the entire panel, there is one question that we want to ask the current alderman from District 2, Mr. Detric Leggett. Mr. Leggett, your residency in the 2nd District has been questioned by some members of the Savannah community. We would like to give you this opportunity tonight to answer those accusations and explain the complaint against your candidacy, and you have 1 minute.
Thank you, ma'am. That complaint was actually dismissed because of Georgia 21-2-6. It says that if a candidate is challenged, you have 10 business days after qualifying, and no one came in those 10 days, so it was dismissed by our clerk council, which is our superintendent of election. And my residence is still as it is on my driver's license. It's maintained, and that's all I'm saying.
Thank you. We're moving on to questions now. We begin with District 3, and this is for Linda Wilder-Bryan. As the incumbent, can you tell us why you deserve another term? You have 1 minute.
The things that I've done take more than 1 minute. However, the affordable housing piece in Savannah Gardens, there are 13 homes built by a minority contractor. One of
Yes.
Thank you. That's your time. Now for the challengers in District 3, why do you believe change is needed in the 3rd District, and why are you the person for that change? We begin with Todd Rhodes.
I grew up in the 3rd District. I lived most of my life in the 3rd District, and I understand the makeup. We need fresh new leadership, and I am that person. They need someone that understands, that can meet people where they at. It's not about me uprooting myself, but it's about me really helping the needs and making sure that I'm helping the people. Leading by example. As a coach, I'm very connected to the community as well as children and parents. And as a father, it's very important to be a father to the fatherless, and also too in the homes to teach them things, to make sure that they have an understanding of how government works and how policy works. Thank you.
Thank you. Clinton Cowart.
I'm not here to be your parent. I'm here to instill your freedom out of poverty. Take a look at your neighborhoods. The homeless rate's increasing constantly. And because it's increasing, people are growing and losing hope. We need to lower taxes. We need to have real transparency. And we need to change the status quo. But when the things don't change, the poverty-stricken will only reach homelessness. And from there, we'll all lose hope.
Tammy Stone.
Yes. As I think about it, I'm running this race because I feel I'm the best person for the position. I can talk to people, not talk at them. I can listen. I've been in this community for the most part of my life, and I have committed myself to making sure that everything that's done, that needs to be done in the 3rd District, I may not have all the, but I am qualified. I ran my business for 30 years straight, and it's still in existence. So I talk to people from every corner of Savannah. I understand the needs. I understand everything that they are concerned about. And I am that person to continue to keep this city moving forward.
Thank you. We will continue now with questions for candidates in District 2. And this question is specific to the incumbent, Detric Leggett. As the incumbent, can you tell us why you deserve another term?
I think that my record speaks for itself. We've done so much in the district, especially in the corridor of Waters Avenue, Broad Street. We've opened new centers like Delaware Center. We've addressed crime at Avenue. We've even spent the night out with the homeless. So we wanted to create a holistic approach to what we've done. And I want to keep doing it and move forward. Because if you look at the district 4 years ago and look at what we've done, I think that we're in a better place.
Thank you. And now, additional question. This is for the remaining candidates here in District 2. And that question is, why do you believe change is needed in the 2nd District? And why are you the person for that change? Tia Brightwell, will begin with you.
So you all know, coming into Frazier Homes, I was disabled by law with lupus and fibromyalgia. With those two disabled diseases, autoimmune diseases, I may say, I was able to create a nonprofit and an LLC. I still have those businesses open today where we provide education for children, empowerment for women, and engagement for families. We can do that with the city, and that's why I deserve a chance to be your alderperson, is because I've been able to do things that people said that I couldn't do, because I know that poverty on the national level is 11%, and we're at triple in Savannah, Georgia. That's the type of change that I want to bring. I want direct services for family in poverty, direct services for family in homelessness, because that's what they deserve. They don't just deserve someone saying, I did a job, because that means that some people are unheard when you think that you did a good job.
Thank you. Taylor Washington.
As I stated earlier, I was born and raised in Cape Home. So much about District 2 has changed. We have to protect the historic preservation. We have to protect the story of Savannah. We cannot change the history city of Savannah, and that's what it's looked like. It's looking like we're changing the historic preservation. All I can do is offer myself and my heart to public service. I am confident that I can help my city by using my life experiences. I am succeeded with others, didn't think I would accomplish much. I have the heart of a servant, and I understand life's pitfalls. I want to help guide the city and inspire others.
Thank you. This question is for everyone. What do you see as the primary needs of your district, and how will you address those needs if you are elected to the council? We'll begin with Taylor Washington.
The needs of the district in District 2 is crime and homelessness. We have to address crime and homelessness. That wasn't a good idea for them to put homeless people from under the barricade off of President Street. That forced them into the squares of downtown. We have to address that. We have to address crime. The residents of the downtown are complaining about homelessness, breaking into their homes. We definitely have to get that under control.
Thank you. Linda Wilder-Bryan. Yes. What do you see as the primary needs of your district, and how will you address those needs if you are elected?
The primary needs of this district are the primary needs of every district. There's housing, there's crime, there's so many lives, but we have to maintain what we're doing now. This administration, through the pandemic, had 67 capital projects. We finished 37 of them. Through the pandemic, 8 of them were in the district, the 3rd district that I serve. I am uniquely, I have an opportunity in a home health agency. We specialize in gerontology, a developer of jobs, the JTP program, the Department of Labor, corrections, transitional, post-trial, pre-trial. There's so many things that makes the city whole. I have 45 years collectively in public service, more than everybody based on their public experience and information that they've given us to really continue to do things like
Thank you. That's your time. And Tammy Stone.
Yes, the main concern that I have in District 3 would be affordable housing. And that seems to be everybody's concern. Affordable housing, if there is such a thing. Affordable housing for housing that is not affordable. But in my research, I find that Savannah has one of the largest homeless situations. We don't have housing that's enough for our people. And my proposal is that I sit with the members of council and we find ways to make sure that we don't have people, women, children, living out of hotels, living in cars. We have to be able to sit down and talk to one another and make sure that everything that these people need, we want to give them hope and not for them to feel as though they are left out. Savannah is a beautiful city, and we all deserve a place to stay that's comfortable for each other.
Thank you. Clinton Cowart.
People need money. They need jobs. Unemployment, well, is rising. That's why you have so much homelessness. But businesses are not hiring like they pretend to. And the reason is they're not hiring because they're being taxed to death. Many businesses are going under. If we can lower taxes, businesses will automatically grow. And when businesses grow, they need more employees. We can raise the minimum wage all we like, but if expenses and taxes keep on escalating, we're still going to end up in the hole. We need jobs.
Todd Rhodes.
There are two things that I see in the 3rd district. One is crime and the other is city services. Crime is high in the 3rd district, and we definitely have to have a fully staffed police department to help with that. Right now, we are 150 officers short. That impacts all neighborhoods, just not the 3rd district. And when it comes to city services, the things that I hear and I see from the residents is that they don't receive their fair share of city services. But, however, we do see that the second district definitely received their fair share. It's time for that to change, and it's time to be fair all the way across the board. Thank you.
Detric, Leggett. Go ahead, Detric. Yes. What do you see as the primary needs of your district, and how will you address those needs if you're elected to council?
Our primary need is exactly what everybody said. You know, we need to make sure our police department is supported. We invest a lot of money in our police department. It's there to make sure that we have housing. You know, work with our downtown neighborhood association, but continue to work with businesses and developers that want to come to our community to make sure that we address the issues that people are having. We have to make sure that everybody has an equal piece of the pie when we go across the district. Regardless of where you live and regardless of what your challenges are, we want to make sure that you have a voice. We're going to continue to give you that voice, and that's why I answer the phone 24 hours a day when you call.
And Tia Brightwell.
Talking to residents and telling them my platform, we do not have transparency in leadership. We do not have leadership that is open to the voice of the people. We do not have responsible growth for all people. And we do not have a thriving district for everyone. So all of the things that my other colleagues have mentioned fall under each one of those. Whether it's housing, crime, poverty, healthcare, we do not have a thriving district for everyone. I have already started working with different coalitions and groups to make sure that we just start defining policies, redefining policies, and building policies around the things that they're mentioning.
Thank you. And we just want to remind the audience and, of course, our viewers on WSAV.com, the candidates, the first three candidates are running for District 2, okay? And the last four are hoping to serve in District 3. All right, we're moving on now. In a recent City Council meeting, Council voted to exclude 3 properties in the city's Victorian District that would have declared them protected properties from demolition. Some historic preservationists felt they should have been included, while others argued these properties held no historical significance in architecture or design. What sort of factors should the city be taking into account when making these types of decisions with regard to historic preservation and neighborhood consensus? Linda Wilder-Bryan, we will begin with you.
I'd love to answer that. First of all, when we talk about economic drives, the owner of City A. Jones said that he was willing to move on from that. If you drive down that street, you'll see that those buildings are not in line with the other structures in the historic area. The drives are what drive the city. We need to make sure that we help people who want to do better themselves. And so we should partner with NBC. I believe that we as a collective body have to own whatever is dealt to us. Those buildings were not included, and while that was a recommendation, what do you do about the Campbells who said that it was time to move on? If we're talking about being sustainable and creating job opportunities, we should also start with the people who live there, who want that. And it's inclusive of everything. The fact is that I put in what we need to do is a big wheel, and that wheel was one, the property owner.
Thank you very much, Alderwoman Wilder-Bryan. Your time is up. Thank you. Tammy Stone.
Yes, according to my research, Savannah is a beautiful city with much history. And I believe that when you move or tear down buildings, you replace the look of Savannah. So I would really like to talk with the residents and see exactly what it is that they want. And if they want those buildings to stay, then that's fine. If not, it's what they want. It's not about what it is that we want.
Thank you. Clinton Cowart.
After consultation with the experts and what's meant to convey the importance of any structure to the residents, in the end, it's up to the residents. but I think it is advisable for the experts to show the meaningful value of any historical structure that they believe and they think should be preserved. And then the residents make up their mind in the end.
Todd Rhodes?
I honestly feel like it should have been definitely decided upon the community. If that's what the community wants and they want to save it, then that's what it should be. Also, too, with the property owners, if the property owner would have liked to tear it down and rebuild, but keep that same business there, that could have been another great thing as well. But I think, in my opinion, like I said, I would have definitely want to keep the buildings, but it definitely should be up to the resident that lives and stays in that community. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Leggett?
Yes, ma'am. The two contributing and non-contributing was the factors to make sure those buildings was going to stay or they were going to go. They had an opportunity to find out if those buildings were able to be contributing. They were not allowed to put on the list. They were left off the list. The community went through those lists and they were non-contributing. So when it came before council, we had an opportunity to go through it. And with consideration from the landlord and the current tenant, that we made the decision to move forward.
Thank you, Alderman. And I just want to remind all of the candidates, I know that some of the residents here want you to address them face to face, and we're asking these questions, yes, but please, if you will, address everyone here in the audience and people at home so that they can make sure that they see who you are and they understand and hear you clearly. Thank you very much. Tia?
I believe that when we're talking about preserving history here in Savannah, we have not done a good job. I do agree that if someone says that they want to give up their property, you should do that. But if you have places here, like the Weeping Time, where we're fighting for that, and that should be preserved, we should preserve the history of Savannah, whether it be for African Americans or anybody else.
Taylor Washington?
Thank you. I believe we should always include the citizens when making decisions. And also, we shouldn't be changing the integrity or the character of the city of Savannah.
All right, thank you all. This next question is for District 2 candidates. The recommended Yamakraw Village housing development demolition will cause relocation hardships to many of its residents, coupled with concerns about what forms of low-income housing will replace it. Can you tell us your stance on this issue and what you will do to allay the concerns of these residents? Let's begin with Tia Brightwell.
Well, you know, being a resident of public housing, more times than others, we're unheard. These residents are unheard and they're about to be displaced. They have no way to go. And the city, according to the news, this property is about to be demolished. So I don't know what you guys want us to say on that, except for is that when the residents say don't tear something down, we should do just that. You know, we have all these other things on the table, all these backdoor deals that we're doing, but we're not hearing the citizens of this great city or the district.
Thank you. Taylor Washington.
I concur with Tia. I don't support displacement, especially when we don't have anywhere for the tenants to move to. I really think that we really need to take another look at that before we make that decision on tearing it down.
Detric.
None of us supports displacing anyone, but we need to understand that we don't own that property. But we have an opportunity to advocate with the staff and the board of the housing authority. It's owned by HUD, and HUD has an opportunity to come in, change things, but what we have to understand is that they're going to demolish it, maybe, but what do we want to go back there? What type of housing we want to go back? We don't want a hotel, but we want housing. We have to make sure that we advocate for that first.
Thank you. And this next question is for District 3 incumbent Linda Wilder-Bryan. Some high-profile alcohol licenses were denied in the 3rd District recently. These applications and denials were politicized by some members of council. Ms. Wilder-Bryan, can you explain your opposition to these licenses and challengers? What information would you use to make these determinations?
every decision that I personally made on city council that had anything to do with alcohol was a promise that I made to the residents of that district. From President Street to 40 to Victory Drive, there were 21 convenience stores that people said they didn't need. Where they wanted to place this alcohol business, I had been working in that neighborhood for 4 years. If they had come to me, I would have told them, put an Aldi there, the things that people, we want children to sit under umbrellas and pet dogs like we do all over the city. Every decision I've made is because I knock on doors. It's not about me. It's a factor that they didn't do. I cannot sit here and say that it was about Linda. It's always going to be about the residents and what they want. And if we're talking about crime and poverty, they're directly related to it. And I don't know anybody on Dixon Street, Carey Street, or the face.
Thank you very much. We will continue now. Thank you. Your time is up. Tammy Stone, what is your response?
My response to that is yes, we should take into consideration the neighbors. We should also take into consideration of the business owner. If they don't have a criminal background, if they have not come in bad contact with the law, and they can prove that they are a good citizen, you've given licenses to multiple businesses. It is an economic driver. These can be used as for future generations to come. Why would we want to stop a business from creating generational wealth?
We don't need no more alcohol and clubs.
We're going to continue. We're going to continue. And in the audience, can you please remain calm? We're going to continue now. Clinton Cowart, you're up next. What are your thoughts?
Any enterprise that follows through with all the rules and obstacles that place before them and goes through all the paperwork, all the scrutiny, and presents a well-documented plan should be approved no matter what. Period. What happened was wrong because there were many other businesses in the district that were approved for that same type of licenses and did not have to go through the hurdles that those poor people did.
Thank you. And Todd Rhodes.
I'm in favor with taking politics out of the alcohol license application. And we can do that by doing that like most modern cities do. You can use the alcohol review board that can be appointed with 2 aldermen at large that be appointed to it, as well as members from the community. I also believe that city council should hear the violations. If you violate, you should come upon the board. But until then, it should be politics should be removed from the alcohol licensing. Thank you.
All right, thank you, candidates. This next question is for everyone. City.
Are we able to rebut false information, or are we just going to continue?
Were you named?
Excuse me? I said, are we able to rebut information that is incorrect?
The rebuttals are limited to if you're named in the response? Okay, so not in this instance, no. Our next question is about city utility billing and services. That's been a point of frustration for many residents. Water meters are not read monthly, leading to large surprise bills, and the fees for late payments are steep. The ability to challenge readings or bills requires families to hire a plumber, which is an added expense. What can the city do to address these inefficiencies? We begin with Todd Rhodes.
Can you repeat that question very short for me one more time?
Sure. City utility billing and services has been a point of frustration for many residents. Water meters are not read monthly, leading to what some consider are large surprise bills, and the fees for late payments are steep. The ability to challenge the readings or the bills requires families to hire a plumber, which they have to pay for. What can the city do to address these inefficiencies?
We definitely have to help our residents. I'm someone myself has experienced that and went through that myself. And having a large family is very difficult when you don't know, when you see a spike in your water bill. This city makes too much money and have so much money How can we not want to help the residents? Again, we help downtown, we help the tourism industry, we help everybody else but the people that live here and work hard and true for a living. So guess what? It's time for action. It's time for people to get the help that they deserve. Thank you.
Detric Leggett.
It's our job as older people to make phone calls or even call the city manager to find out what can we do to alleviate the stress that our residents are dealing with. And we have dealt with that. Every member of council have dealt with water bill issues. We had to find special ways of getting people an opportunity to have payment plans or get their water back on. But through the pandemic, we found a way to get people the help that they needed. So I think everybody sitting up here had the opportunity to go down to the water department and call someone to try to get some of their water issues taken care of. But as an older person, that is your job to make that call for them.
Tia Brightwell.
I would say that the city should be responsible because when people call out experts on their own, sometimes it's kind of going against what the city calls out, their experts. And that causes an issue because their experts don't see a problem. And so the residents are still having to pay bills that no one is seeing an issue with. So the city should step in and help the residents. You have residents that have moved out of those homes and they still have water bills, stopping them to going into other homes to getting another water bill. So it should be the city's responsibility to help its residents.
Taylor Washington.
Thank you. It's definitely the city's responsibility. The residents should not have to call a plumber to come out to determine whether or not they're the cause of the inflation or the reason for the inflation. There's no reason for that. The city needs to take full responsibility for that. And also, why aren't they reading the meters every month? We should have meter readers every month. We have it in the budget to do it.
Linda Wilder-Bryan.
It is very important that people understand the process. It is clear that some of the candidates don't. If they have a reading agenda, we have put things in place to make sure that we are held accountable. For each person that called me about a water problem, they were able to make a contract, but you need to keep that contract. When we say what the city's responsible, I had a water bill that was high too. We first have to take care of doing what we do. We have to do that. A lot of people are not wanting that. They want the city to open their purses. I get it, I understand it. And so that's why we put the automatic places where we need to so that it will be read accurate. I don't understand people not saying that they want to do change and they offer no sustainability, no answers to effectively create change. To say you want change and not do anything about change means nothing. If we continue to keep saying change
Thank
and
you.
not do anything,
That's your
we get
time.
the same results.
Thank
and
you.
it's nothing.
Tammy Stone.
Thank you, sir. I was too one of those that had that enormous water bill, and I had to call a plumber. And what I understand is, if you own your home, then that is a part of your responsibility. But when it comes down to having a water bill that's astronomical, yes, we got to figure out what the problem is. But first of all, when we talk about change, we need to make sure that when these citizens call us, we answer the phone. Too many times I've gone from door to door and I've heard and talked to citizens that said they can't get an answer. So that is the one problem that we have to really address. Doing what we're supposed to do when we sit on that dais and we tell the people that we are for them.
Thank you. Clinton Cowart.
Once there's a dispute, the bill should be placed on hold. Then, an accurate assessment of your history in the billing should be easily accessible for who you're working with at the water company. Once they see you have a history of paying a specific type of range and it doesn't match with the current bill that's ridiculous, you actually have proof that the error is on their portion of the island. And once you prove this, they should give you a credit.
Thank you, candidates. The next question. Last year's T-SPLOST, Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, failed. to pass, despite support from many in the County Commission and also City Council. Why did T-Plus fail? What effects do you see it having on the city's transportation infrastructure, and what can be done? Todd Rhodes will begin with you.
I honestly believe that T-Splosh failed for the simple fact because it's not being fair to everybody in this city. You find out a lot of T-Splosh funding has been spread all around but where it needs to be. So as far as what I hear and when I talk to people, people are saying, I don't trust it, I don't want it because it's not going to be where I need it to be in my community, in my neighborhood. So in order for it to get support, we have to definitely be transparent and be honest to where it's going to go and do what we say we're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Clinton Cowart.
You know, every time we are short on the budget, we come up with a squash program. I find that unique. And every time we place the burden on what we call a penny tax on the people, but it's not a penny. We need transparency. Because number one, we have no clue how the squash is being utilized until after the fact. That's why the people didn't vote for it, because they want to know exactly how it's going to be spent, and they want the proof.
Thank you. Tammy Stone.
I would have voted against that. Number one, because the people are already being taxed enough, and nobody wants to have another tax on them. And then if that goes through, we want to know where the money is going. What is it being used for? As Alderwoman on the dais in the 3rd District, I will make sure and I will be transparent to every person throughout the city of Savannah. I'm going to tell it like it is.
Linda Wilder-Bryan.
T-Plus didn't pass because we had leaders who, my grandmother used to say, half the truth is still a whole lot. They did not give the information that everybody needed to have. This would have helped people in this entire district. 35% would have been paid by visitors. I can't see why we would be mad about people getting the things that they need, bridges, streets, anything that had to do with transportation. The Denton project, when I sit on this, guys, it's not just for this district, it's for everybody in this city to make the main thing the main thing. And the main thing would have been that if we had collected that money, we probably could have did some other things in the budget to take care of infrastructure and things for the elderly and teenagers. To sit here and say that T-Splosh didn't work because it didn't work, the agenda, the city, and if you're going to work with people, you have to believe what the recommendations of the city manager was. And the city manager said that T-Splosh.
Thank you very much. We are moving on now. Taylor Washington.
Thank you. First of all, I am anti-tax. I'm sorry. The citizens, if they vote for that, we definitely have to be transparent on what we're using the funding for. And that's what is important.
All right, now, Tia Brightwell.
I believe that it failed is because we're taxing our people. Our people are working hard, whether they're in the poor class, the working class, or even if they got money, they're working hard. So we have to find money in other places to be able to support the people of the city when it comes to transportation or anything else they need.
Thank you. Detric Leggett.
I believe that it failed because there was no equity from our counterparts at the county and other places. But as a sitting CAT board member, I think it would have helped us because we have so many jobs coming in the western part of the county. We could have gotten out people from in the city to the jobs out in the warehousing and especially now to the car plant that's coming up. So we have to make sure when it comes up again, or if we have to advocate for something, this is what it's for. We want to be able to transport people out to the jobs because the jobs are moving west, and we want to be able to get people working.
Candidates, thank you. The next question. The downtown historic area is the heart of the city's service industry, but is too expensive for service workers to live there or even park there. Some of the past parking solutions have proved less than satisfactory for workers. What else can the city do to help alleviate these transportation hardships for this necessary sector of our city's labor force? Let's begin with Clinton Cowart.
I believe Mr. Combs mentioned it, a VR payment system would greatly improve things.
Thank you. Tammy Stone.
Well, when it comes to transportation and our people that are working down there, for one, they're working under minimum wage, the majority of them. So that does not give them enough funding, enough money to be able to transport themselves back and forth. And my suggestion would be that what we do is we look at the pay raises. It's clear that Savannah makes a lot of money off of the tourism industry. So we need to pass on some of that to the workers down there because they need it.
Linda Wilder-Bryan.
We are every day creating partnerships, and one of them is with CAT. We understand that the problems that we have all over the city are transportation and wages, and that's why CAT offers free bus rides, right? Some people voted against that. I don't care which part of the district that you're in, to vote against not getting free bus rides is just ridiculous. The other thing is, if we continue to work together, CAT said that they're going to be getting grants to make sure that we do offer free bus rides. You can't do anything about the economy. You can't roll it back. What we do is create partnerships in this community that do just that. Give people opportunities to not pay 40% of their wages for salary and the other 10 or 20 for transportation. I believe it's doable. It doesn't matter where you are in the city. We need to offer everybody the same thing at the same time, and that's what I've done. I don't have to be loud this time because my work has been loud for me. And so I'm just going to sit here and tell you I'm going to continue the same thing that I've always done to
That's your time.
people.
Thank you. Taylor Washington.
Thank you. We need free bus transportation dedicated throughout the city for our workers and insurance. And most important, wage increase.
Thank you. Tia Brightwell.
Sorry. I agree that our labor takes on a lot, and everything that they need should be right at their hands. Whether it's transportation, to be honest, people come and they look for means of asking us, can we help them get back and forth to work? And so CAT doesn't give our nonprofit any free tickets to get people back and forth to work. So we need places where people can get on the bus for free to go to work. We need other ways for people to be able to not worry about going to work, then getting back home to get their children. They create a whole poverty stimulation based off of poor people. That means that we catch the bus, we go to loan sharks, we go to the defects place. So we're ripping and running throughout the city, but the city is not ripping and running for us. So we got to put them first, period.
Detric Leggett.
As a CAT board representative, again, we created in 2019 the DOT shuttle. Once I became a CAT board member, we extended the CAT DOT shuttle more southern, and we went to Victory Drive. Now we're extending the CAT service, the DOT service, more westerly to the arena area, and now we're going more into East Savannah. We're making sure, as your representative on the CAT board, that we address all of the needs of the people throughout the district by giving them that DOT opportunity.
Todd Rhodes.
I believe definitely we should come up with a solution to help with that, and it definitely starts with wages. Wages for most people that especially work in the downtown industry, whether it be in a hotel, restaurant, whatever, they're making below a livable wage. They're making at least $12 or below, and you cannot afford anything with that price, let alone we're talking about a car or any transportation. I believe we should also partnership with businesses that's in Savannah, that's in the city, to say, hey, look, we have a card that we can give our workers that will give them either a great discount or a free charge for them to be able to have public transportation to get back into. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidates, we've reached a point for your last question tonight. Savannah City Council recently passed a zoning ordinance to allow the sale of low THC medical marijuana within city limits. And Savannah's new medical marijuana zoning laws have been described as some of the strictest of the city's zoning ordinances. What is your stance on City Council's recent decision on medical marijuana? Do you think it goes too far or not far enough? Tia Brightwell, we will begin with you.
I believe it doesn't go far enough. Our young black boys are getting locked up for marijuana where others can come into our cities and get licenses to sell it. So we need to make sure and ensure that if we're going to do anything around marijuana, that it's not just for those people that love our city and come do business here, but how about our kids that's on the street every day getting locked up just for marijuana?
Thank you. Taylor Washington.
I concur with Tia. It definitely is not going far enough. We definitely need to, City Council definitely needs to go back and handle that issue, because it's not fair that our young boys are getting locked up for marijuana, and we got people coming into the city and open up marijuana shops.
Thank you very much. And next, Linda Wilder-Bryan.
Zoning ordinance give us an opportunity to fix what we feel with the alcohol. It is, I don't know why the candidates don't know that we have a city ordinance. If you have less than an ounce, then we know that it can go for it's a misdemeanor. The other thing is, because we are at a progression of all the things that other cities are now doing, there is an opportunity to make sure that we take care of the things that we did not do and that we inherited in the previous administrations. The zonings will take care of all the things I repeat that did not take care of the alcohol. We keep fussing about what's going on in the city, but we need to make sure that there is a plan. And the plan was to make sure that we keep cities safe, environments safe, and the neighborhoods safe. And I'm going to continue to do everything that does not negatively impact the city, that it improves the quality of life.
Thank you very much. We are moving on now. Tammy Stone.
Yes, I believe that, I agree with Tia, that the marijuana, a lot of our young men and women are behind bars because they get arrested because of that. But seeing that the way things are changing now, there needs to be a change. I once asked the mayor, what do we do about the young men and women that are now incarcerated because of small amounts of marijuana or whatever the case may be? And it was like, we cannot try a case twice, but we have young men and women behind bars for small amounts of marijuana that are going to be there for years. So I think that we need to stop and think. And the ordinances that my opponent is talking about, yes, we do understand that. But we got to also think about the effect that it's going to have on our community as well.
Thank you. Clinton Cowart.
It goes too far. I want you to look at a cancer patient, a child, or even a teenager, and then tell them the same things that you've been reiterating right here. You know, a lot of people are disabled and handicapped, and they require that. Marijuana is not just recreational, it's also medicinal, which we've talked about and we pointed out. Some people need this because it's the only thing that alleviates their suffering. You've gone too far. What next? You're going to bring back prohibition?
Todd Rhodes, your response?
We have a lot of things going on in the city, and believe it or not, marijuana is here. It's been here for a long time. I'm pretty sure you can smell it when you go to Walmart, to the mall, even to the school. So it's here. So what we have to do, we have to just find out ways of making sure that we can keep it maybe under control as best we can. Our police, we already short-staffed. What we gonna do? Keep using them to go lock people up for smoking the joint? That don't make sense. We have to find out ways, and just like you said, Mr. Clinton, I totally agree with you. You have some people that need it for medical use. You have people that need it. So if you need it and you've been prescribed, smoke on, my brother or my sister, or do what you need to do. But at the same time, we got to be mindful of what we do, and we got to obey the law. That's the main thing. So whatever the law is, we got to accept it, and we got to go through with it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Detric Leggett.
I think that we need to understand that we're talking about the oil. We're not talking about the leaf. So we are only going to have these businesses they can only be around the state mandated places. They cannot be by churches, daycare centers, or any of these places that the state has mandated that they cannot be. So, hey, we do support it, but they will have blockades to make sure that they don't encroach in different areas they don't need to be.
Thank you, candidates. It's now time for closing statements. You have 30 seconds. We're going to be in the far end of the table with Todd Rhodes.
Savannah, I would ask you to vote for me because you're going to find somebody that's not going to be bought out and that's not going to sell out. You're going to have somebody that's going to fight for the people. And I mean it true at my heart. My daddy served this community, and I'm proud of him, and I'll always be proud of him because guess what? Even if he did 23 years in law enforcement, nobody could say that Todd was a bad guy or a crooked cop or a bad person. I choose to follow in my father's footsteps and set the bar so my kids.
Thank you. Is that time? Clinton Cowart.
We can achieve anything, and I mean anything. I came into this world terminally ill. I'm supposed to have died almost 48 years ago. And thanks to you, the taxpayers of Georgia and Savannah, I'm still alive. Now, if you can achieve that for me, imagine what we all can achieve together. We can evoke a positive progression. We can save Savannah. Thank you.
Tammy Stone.
Yes. I am an advocate for our women, our children, and our city of Savannah. We have homelessness that is deplorable. I am committed to doing what the citizens of Savannah want me to do. They need me to do. I'm not going to sit back and not respond, not care. People can say all the things that they have done.
Time's up. Linda Wilder-Bryan.
Before there was an alderman, Linda Wilder-Bryan, there was Linda Bryan who was in these streets working for people, all people. Doesn't matter where you are. $400,000 of donations, non-traditional, were put in the pocket so that homeowners for mothers, single mothers, can get that. I vote for everything that will provide a safer city, protecting neighborhoods. They keep regurgitating the same old thing from the same old people. If you elect anybody other than Linda Wilder-Bryan, you're going to get the same divisiveness.
Thank you.
Communication is not true.
That's your time.
Work it.
Taylor Washington.
Thank you. I am new to this, but I definitely will be true to this. I will not sell out. I will always listen to the residents. I will always answer my phone, and I will fight for you at the dais, down in the Gold Dome for District 2. Thank you.
Brightwell.
Listen, I have shown you guys, not proven to you all, that I am the candidate, I am the woman for the job. I am here to build trust with transparency and leadership. I'm here to show you what responsible growth looks like, and I'm here to show you what a thriving district looks like for everybody, not some of us. So vote TSD Brightwell for the people, November 2nd.
And Detric Leggett.
You know, when a hero stumble and a coward rejoice, nothing feels better to a coward than to watch a brave guy fall. So what we're going to do is continue to move this district forward, and I'm going to make sure that I do the best job that I've been doing. So I thank you for allowing me to be your alderman for these past 3.5 years, but in these next 4 years, imagine what we can do without a pandemic.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Thank you, everyone, for staying here, sticking around.